How old were you before you realized that the church wasn't a perfect place? That it wasn't filled with perfect people? Well, have you ever felt like giving up on church? Maybe you were hurt by people or a situation, hurt by people who were supposed to love like Jesus. Maybe you've seen the hypocrisy of the church or were a part of some kind of conflict that arose in the church. Or maybe it just feels like it's easier to follow Jesus and God on your own. Well, you're not alone. A lot of people feel like that and have those feelings at different times in their lives. But God's word invites us to take a look at the church in a different light. From the very beginning, the church had its own problems. It was a messy place to be. If you look at the book of Acts, it tells about the church from the very beginning. The church argued about a lot of things, about food distribution. The leaders disagreed. Churches made mistakes. Letters had to be written to correct them. Yet God still called them to be His people, His family. In the book of Hebrews, it reminds us with these words, "Let us not neglect meeting together as some do, but let us encourage one another, all the more as the day draws near." You see, church is not necessarily about what we receive from it, but about what we give. Our presence, our prayers, our encouragement, and our love. Think about a piece of broken pottery. When you have a piece of broken pottery, you usually not much more you can do with it except throw it away. Well, in Japan, they have the art of kintsugi, where they take that broken pieces and they put it together with a mixture of golden dust substance that glues it back together. But it doesn't hide the cracks. It doesn't hide the brokenness. In fact, when the light shines through it, now the brokenness comes through those golden seams, and it shows where it's broken in a more beautiful kind of way. That's what God does with the church. He doesn't erase our flaws. He doesn't cover our mistakes. He redeems them. Our scars become places where His grace shines through our lives. Yes, the church can wound us. Yes, the church can hurt us, but it can also bring healing into our lives as God's people. It's where we hear God's word. It's where we gather around the table together. It's where we lift up one another in prayer. Jesus never gave up on His church. In fact, He said, "The gates of hell will not prevail against it because it's built upon a rock." Well, if Christ hasn't abandoned His people, maybe He's calling us not to abandon one another either. He's calling us to stay, to love, to forgive, and to be a part of His work of restoration. The church can be messy sometimes, I know. But God's grace cleans up the messes. He loves us. He forgives us. And He shines through the messiness of life. God bless you.